Oh, do what you need to do.
But yeah, man, getting back to the story, with COVID-19, it kind of stopped a lot of things, and basketball and Orlando boom and just everything that I had planned for the summer. So I really decided to lock in like on my passion, which was really motivational speaking. And that's another reason why I went to Johnson, because I wanted to learn the ministry part as well as being able to deliver and produce events. So this Sunday, man, was my second breakthrough conference. I had over 35 people there on a Zoom call, man. It was amazing. I had entrepreneurs from Louisiana. Elliot was there from the Kissimmee area, Orlando. I had people from New York. I had people from Michigan, so I kind of in California. So I kind of Atlanta, Georgia. So I kind of did it like a global thing, just to bring people together so they can share their business ideas as well as share like the systems that we're actually using within our marketing and growing our business. And I say systems, learning from a guy, Andy Audate, at the age of 19. This guy, he made his first $1 million within the cell phone industry. So after that, 19, he wanted to retire and move to California. So when he moved to California, he realized that his funds and stuff was running low from the $1 million that he made. And he decided to partner up with Les Brown, and he was mentored by Les Brown for over a year within traveling with him, and he was doing promotions for Les Brown. And then he branched off and started his own brand, Andy Audet Enterprises. And that's how I ended up getting connected with him. So far from roughly around March all the way up till now, me and Andy Audet has been really close. And now we're business partners and putting together, these type of events to just, share information.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations on all that. Don't think that I'm not watching.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, I've been looking at what you're doing, man. I've been impressed because, I got to remember, and I don't even know if you remember this or not, but I helped you through the acceptance process there at JUFL, and then was actually, was there with you the day that you did your signing day.
Yeah,
I think
you
with
took
your
the picture.
yeah, and Coach Wilsman. So yeah, I mean that's how special that day was. Man, it's already been 2 years now, hasn't it?
Yeah, 2 years. Oh,
that's crazy.
That's
crazy to think about how long, even how long that ago was. So, I love seeing that, the young men and young women that, and I'm always watching on Instagram and stuff and seeing even the guys that, played for me back in 2014, they're all now, most of them are married, they got kids and this and that. It's like, wow, man, I still remember when, you're 18, 19 years old. And now you're at that point, where you're about to graduate here in the fall and you're moving on to your things, but what's cool is that's big, that's huge for you already to kind of be moving along with that in that direction.
Yeah, definitely. I appreciate
so tell me
that.
A little bit about it. So tell me a little bit about your business and what you're doing to make this world a better place, man. We need it right now. So what are you doing with your business to make it to help it, to expand on that?
Okay, so what I understood as a motivational speaker, so just a little bit of background history. Within 2015, it was like a rough time in my life because I had to actually come home from college, right? And the reason why is because my mom, we didn't have like a financial plan set up for me to really go to school. So my first freshman year of college, I went to LaSalle University. I was trying to play Division I basketball. I had to come back home. And then after that, I ended up transferring that spring semester to Penn State Harrisburg. So kind of the same situation happened. I finally had the opportunity to play basketball, got on the court, played roughly around like 10 games or so. And then I still had to come back home within 2 months span because of the finances. So that 2016, I had to really lock in and stay home, and grind. And I had to work 2 jobs just to pay off back the debt that I owed from the previous schools. And it was a real tough time for me. So what I decided, in order to get back in school, I was going to start motivational speaking and start sharing people with my story and my struggle of trying to even go back to college.
Right.
So as we transitioned to like 2018, moving to Johnson, And moving to Florida, that area in Kissimmee, this was kind of like my breakout story, you know, of me really sharing that with the people that I can actually go through that struggle and make it out. So within that time previously, I started motivational speaking, and I was going to different high schools speaking. I was going to different colleges. I went to college in Southern Maryland. I was at community college. I enrolled in for those 2 years, 2017, 18, and I ended up graduating. But I understood as a motivational speaker, I couldn't really make any money just going out and speaking because there's so many different fees associated with gas, travel, hotel expenses, you know what I mean? So even if you do get $1,000 check, that $1,000 check is almost gone because you got to rent a car and do all these other things. So just revamping it back up in 2020, I understood that I needed to start my business. So my business is Inspired Creative Solutions. And you'll kind of understand where I'm going with this, because my passion also is graphic design, brand development, and marketing. I mean, a while ago back, we even had discussions about like logos and different things. And over time, Johnson, like even working with Elliot in the sports department, I ended up putting together different flyers, like I did volleyball flyers and different things like that. So my goal was for businesses to be able to create like logos, websites, logo reveals, and really help them brand themselves, you know, within the cyber economy. Because right now within COVID, everything is going online. And if I'm an expert online with branding different people and marketing businesses, then that's kind of my forte within my business element. So certain companies will come to me. A guy that actually went to Johnson University, his name was Jesse Boyd. And just a little bit about his backstory. He was incarcerated for a time period in his life, but now older in age, he's roughly around his 40s, 50s. And
yeah, I know Jesse.
Yeah, so he developed a ministry now, and it was powerful. Boyd Faith, Hope, and Love Ministry. So he's put together like a transitional phase that he's working with other people that may have been ex-offenders or incarcerated coming out of prison to be able to translate in society. So he was one of my first clients. So I was able to put together his logo, put together his website, put together a video, went over his house, had the video set up for him, and he was really thankful and grateful. And then after that, you know, more clients start to come on, and my progress with Andy Ade started to continue to happen. And now I'm here. So that's kind of a little short synopsis of what I'm doing actually in my business part, as well as, you know, within the motivational speaking. And then two other elements that I've been working on is also like with the marketing and advertising. With Andy Ade, he's gave me like social media, like platforms and structures and systems on how to post different content and how to have content automated and just kind of developing strategy almost to the social media. But definitely, man, that's kind of been my forte, as well as helping others that are trying to get their ideas out with business plans and so far and so forth.
That's awesome, man. I love hearing that. And, you know, again, I'm really excited for you. And, you know, that's the reason why I reached out to you as well, because maybe somewhere along the line, as you know, and I know you've been watching, that, you know, I'm trying to build the mixed sports club. You know, we're going to build something that's going to be bigger than I think we right now even realize how big this thing is going to be, you know, with really generalizing with sports, semi-pro sports, professional sports, right? And then also we're going to incorporate college development programs, right? So for those kids that are, you know, the biggest thing to me, Ray, is there's too many kids that, and I see it every day, whether here in the United States or all over the world, it really doesn't matter, you know, where we miss out on too many kids because of different, you know, because of different problems, or, you know, with financial or, you know, their circumstances, doesn't matter. We're missing out on a lot of different kids in a lot of different areas, you know, and I really want to get it to the point where, you know, if they're going to come play for us in the mixed sports club, that it's not going to cost their parents an arm and a leg in order to come and play for us, you know, to be able to get an opportunity, especially for the younger, you know, young men and women that are out there that are playing high school sports, you know, where we are going to be able to help them and show them there's some options here for you, right? We're going to have 3 different options for you. You know, you're going to be in the college developmental program, and we're going to say, okay, what do you want to do? Well, when they're 17 years old, what's their first reaction that they're going to say? I want to go to college.
Mm-hmm.
I want to play D1 football. Okay, great. Let's try to make it happen. Let's see what we can do. So we put the program together, but you know this, Ray, when they get to that senior year and they have all maybe a few 4, 5, 7, 10 different offers, and then they say, ooh, wait a minute, that might be too much for me. I don't know if I want to get away from home. I think I'm going to stay at home and go to Valencia, right?
Yeah.
And then what happens? Well, you know, Valencia College is very inexpensive. They're in Florida, but they don't have sports. Mm-hmm. So the sports are over for them. So we're looking now to give an option, right? So now if you say, you know what, coach, I'm at that stage right now where I'm thinking about not going to college, or maybe I'm going to go to college, but I don't want to leave home. Okay, well, if you're going to go to this community college here to save yourself some money, we still can give you an option to continue playing the sport that you love, right? Mm-hmm. So then they can transition right out of high school into either our semi-pro program, right? Which we right now, we already have men's soccer, you know, in the UPSL there in Orlando. Next year, we're looking to have women's semi-pro soccer. We just hired on Coach Landis McCoy to be our vice president of basketball operations. You know Landis very well, you know, and Landis is going to be handling that. Landis, you know, we own the rights to the ABA team there in Orlando. So that's where direction. So hopefully by 2021, we'll have a men's pro basketball team, the Mixed Sports Club in Orlando, that'll be playing in the ABA. That's professional players, man. They're going to be getting paid. And then we're also looking at next year. We've got a lot of good connections with the ACE League, the semi-pro league there in Orlando, mm-hmm. to put a team in there as well. And the objective of that is not only to say, well, you know, we've got semi-pro and pro, but it also gives the guys that are in that semi-pro level an opportunity to what? Play professionally, mm-hmm. right? And they don't even have to leave Orlando, you know, so there it is. So that's, you know, we're looking to kind of do that. And then again, you know, soccer with men's and women's, you know, we're looking at a couple of options, and we're also looking at to give options to international players. So if there's somebody in Brazil, you know, my connection with Brazil is really big. You know, over in the UK, you know, I've got a company out there that I partner with very well, which is Starbridge Sports, and they bring kids over as well to the United States. And they also have a option for possibly Americans to go over there and play professional soccer, right? Mm-hmm. Got a contact in Serbia. So I've got, you know, these connections that we're going to be able to kind of build and mold some things to be able to give people opportunities outside of that. We're looking to bring in other sports as well. You know, I'm in contact, of course, with Ontavious McCullum. You know him very well as well, of the Orlando Boom, national champion, Orlando Boom. And, you know, something like that to bring in possibly women's basketball towards us. And then also possibly in talks of doing men's and women's volleyball as well. What other sports can come along? It's unlimited, right? We can bring in other sports if we want to. I'd love to, you know, my passion, I'll be honest with you, you know, I never played soccer. I was too short to play basketball. I could play, but I was too short. I wasn't going to go play in the basketball teams. I loved baseball and football. You know, that's what I grew up playing here, you know. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I'd love to someday maybe own a semi-pro team for American football. And that there is that opportunity. There are some semi-pro leagues out there. I think there's actually one in Orlando. And maybe here in the next 2 years, we may have a team there, you know. And then maybe even branch out and do some indoor kind of things. So maybe do some indoor soccer or futsal, you know, mm-hmm. build those markets. So we're right now, you know, our logo, we welcome all sports. We're open, you know, we're going to invite everybody in. And, you know, and that's what the mix is all about. You know, that's why we called it the mix. You know, it's a neat story on how it kind of all kind of developed with, you know, how the mix kind of started. And it started at Johnson, you know, where you know, we bought the rights to the Orlando market for the ABA, the Men's Professional Basketball League. And I actually was going to call it the Orlando Wepa. Do you know what Wepa means?
Was it like a soldier or a Western? Or
No, So WEPA is WEPA. So it's kind of like a Puerto Rican term where they go WEPA. It's kind of like saying, hey, something really exciting that happened. So in Orlando, the Puerto Rican population is very big in Orlando. And so one day, Doug Johnson, which was the director of admissions at the time, he and I are really good friends. He walked into my office. He goes, I keep going back to what you've always said, that you wanted to bring more diversity and all these things into Johnson. So why don't you do that for the mix? Don't set yourself up to just this little area. Expand. And that time we were still saying WEPA. And I'm like, and he goes, why don't you call it the mix? It's a mix. It's a melting pot of what Orlando is, will do for you. And now it brings in everybody in the Central Florida. And I'm like, I love it. Great idea. So that's how the mix name came along. And look at our roster for men's soccer. I mean, I think we have 6 or 7 countries represented on our team, maybe even more than that. So that's what I wanted, to be able to give kids in any walk of life an opportunity to come and play for us and have a great career, whether if it's college, semi-pro, or hey, professionally would be awesome. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Professionally would be awesome, an awesome experience. I'm all about that, and I want to be able to give those kids that. You know what, Ray? You know this, man. You mentioned it. That was almost the first thing you mentioned was about cost, that you had to get out of college is because of cost. How cool would it be that the college developmental program, right, that we're looking to start, is to be able to educate those kids that mom and dad maybe didn't go to college. Maybe someone in their family never went to college and they don't know that cost. So for example, you get a kid, you see this on Twitter and Instagram. I'm blessed to receive a scholarship from such and such college. Okay. So here's my question. I'm excited for you. Congratulations. How much did they offer you? And how much does it cost to go to college? So if the coach gave you $10,000 and you had a 2.3 GPA, you're not going to get a lot of academic money, right? And it may cost $30,000 to $40,000 to attend that school. Where's the rest of that money coming from? Right? That's the stuff that I want to be able to teach kids that didn't have that opportunity and may not have the financial means to go to that type of college. So what would I do with that kid? Okay, listen, my youngest daughter is a perfect example. Okay, we didn't have that kind of money to be going, sending her to big colleges and stuff like that. And she was playing soccer, right? With her grades, with her ability to play soccer, by the end, and when she's done with college in December of 2020, she's graduating from UCF. Now, she's not playing at UCF. She played 2 years at Polk State. But when she's done, we're going to be about somewhere between $7,000 to $8,000 in full debt for tuition. Wow. That's it. And she'll have that paid off within a year, and she's done. How many kids do you hear are 20, 40, 60, 100, $150,000 in debt? Yeah. Right? For the rest of their life. And then they marry into someone that's also $100,000, $200,000 in debt for school. Okay. And now you're both together at $300,000 in debt, and you just started your family. Yeah. That's the education that we need to get to people, right? To say, hey, listen, if it's you, Ray, right? If it was back then, I would be like, Ray, can you afford to go here? Honestly, Coach, I don't think I can. I don't think my family can make it here. Okay, then let's do this. It is much less expensive to go to a JUCO than it is to a 4-year school, right? Because it's a community school. It's there close to you. You don't have to live on campus. Maybe be able to play basketball or whatever sport. They all offer different sports. Go there for a year. Go there for 2 years. Get your AA degree, right? And then transfer. Now you've got your AA degree. You probably went to school pretty cheap because now you're not living on campus. You're allowed to work. You can do all of those different things. And then now go to that next level, right? Maybe it's NAIA. Maybe it's D3. Maybe it's D2. Maybe it's D1. I don't know, right? that's the direction that I really want kids to start paying attention, to say, you know what, my family can't afford this, right? So let's do it like this for 2 years, and then let's see if I can get an athletic scholarship from there, and academic, okay? Because listen, academic to me is probably more important than athletic. Because if God forbid something happened to you while you were in college, you think that coach is going to keep you with that scholarship that next year?
Irreplaceable.
Yeah, he's got to give up. You got to give up that scholarship, right? So these are the things to educate people. You know how to read rosters, right? So Ray, again, you say you were in high school, right? And I know you can ball, right? And I'm helping you through the college recruitment process. And you tell me, hey, Coach Andy, I really like this one school. All right, let's look at it, Ray. What do you like about it? They got really nice jerseys. That's not why we're going to that college. Okay. I love the University of Michigan. I love their helmets. I love all that stuff. But you know what? Back in the day, there was no way that I could afford to go to University of Michigan. I knew that, right? So you look at, and that's where I break things down for you, right? So I'll say, let's look and what do you want to go to school for? I want to go to school for business. Do they offer business? What do you want to play? Well, you know, coach, I'm playing basketball. All right, let's look at the men's roster and let's see what they have. So now I open up the roster for you on their website. It's there. So let's look at last year's team. Well, they had 2 seniors, 10 juniors, 10 sophomore, 10 freshmen. I know most basketball programs aren't that big, but you know, just kind of give you an idea. How much shot are you going to have to be able to play there?
None. Not with all them juniors.
Exactly. So why not look for somewhere else that you can actually go and contribute, right? Everybody wants to go to Alabama. Everybody wants to go to Clemson. Everybody wants to go here. Everyone wants to go there. But then you look at those other programs that you can actually go play for and contribute and become a monster, because everybody just hears that D1, right? You know that there's JUCOs out there that could beat Division I programs right now. Yeah. There's NAIA programs that could beat Division I schools, right? And I so remember a NCCAA Division II basketball team that someone that I'm talking to right now was on, that was dominating everybody, and gave some, you know, some big teams a run for their money. Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
Right. Look at our soccer program, right? Our soccer program, we shouldn't have been beating NAIA schools. So during the time that I was there, we beat a couple of NAIA schools, Florida College with one of them, right? And we beat a Division III school, right? We shouldn't have been doing that. Those schools should have been killing us, but we gave it to them, right? So there's opportunity everywhere. You know, you think about that again, and I'm sorry if I keep on a rant here. So
no, it's information, man.
Yeah, because if you see someone that has that option, right, where, man, I'm either going to go sit in Alabama, but I might get a ring, but no one's going to know who I am. Or I can go to an HBCU school, for example, right? Go blow things up there and do just have a crazy career. And maybe the NFL might see me. Maybe the NBA might see me. Maybe some team overseas might see me, right? Because they're not going to see you on the bench.
Yeah.
You know, again, you know, going back to that, that's the stuff that we want to be able to educate young men and women on doing the right thing. And, you know, and listen, you're not going to sell everybody. Every kid is going to be like, no matter what, coach, I'm going to Alabama. I don't care if I'm sitting on the bench. Well, hey, I wish you the best. I actually knew this was about 5 years ago. I was helping this kid. He was a kicker. He was ranked 3rd in Kentucky for a kicker. Great. He really was good. But his dad was like, it was D1 or bust. That was it. He's getting offers from D3s. I'm saying, you know, D2s, full rides, D3. He could have gone all academic. NAIAs left and right. It was like they just all day long, boom, 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 boom. But no Division I's, none. So finally, is like, you know, I don't know what else to do with you, man. I mean, we got all these offers for you. If you guys don't want to accept them, I don't know what else to do. So he's like, well, let's contact Vanderbilt. All right, we contacted Vanderbilt, talked to the kicking coach there and all that stuff. What's the coach say? I do need a kicker, but he's not getting a scholarship coming here, and he probably won't play very much. He went there. Let me ask you, how many games do you think he played in the 3 years that he was on that team?
I couldn't
Not
tell you.
one. He never kicked in one game. Not one. No field goals, no punts, no extra points, nothing.
Wow.
He sat on the bench for 3 years, and in his senior year, he didn't play. Or he could have gone to a smaller school and probably broken records because he was that good, but he just wasn't D1 good, you know? So that's the stuff that you got to consider, you know, and that's the stuff that I want to be able to educate with kids through the mix and bringing in some great people. And that's why I contacted you as well, you know, to start putting those collaborations with people that I trust, that I know that are going to do a good job, that have been there, you know, that have experienced this. And you said it earlier, man, I went to here and I went to there. I couldn't afford it. What a great example, you know, that we can use you and say, Ray, we need you to come in here and talk to these kids and say, this is what I experienced, guys. I'm for real. I'm sitting right here. I went through this. Don't do this. Don't get yourself in debt. Don't do these things. Find the right fit for you that's going to keep you happy and also financially stable. Don't go once in 4 years and you're going to be so much in debt that you're never going to get out of it.
Yeah, that's definitely important, man. Like if I could do it all over again, I mean, my experience developed the story, but just from the education, you know, I also wish there was someone in high school that could tell me, Raymond, there are Division I JUCOs, there are Division II JUCOs that you can go to and that you can get a scholarship that can be in the state of Maryland that could easily transition you to a Division I school or a Division II school, high major, a low major, or whatever, you know, opportunity. So I wish that was definitely the problem within my community was like, you know, I had my dream so big. I was telling people like in ninth grade that I wanted to go to the University of North Carolina, but I did that just to constantly keep my dreams high because I didn't want to feel as though I had to lower my standards just because of my environment. But at the same time, I wish that there was people that was in my circle as yourself that could actually guide a person down a great path of success, you know, and not just say, oh, this kid thinks he's big-headed, or no, it's not that at all. Because as a senior in my school, like I was top 5 within our county, you know, first team, played in Buffalo Wild Wings All-Star game. Like I had the exposure there, but I just didn't have any support system. You know, my mom never been to college. My father passed away when I was 6. So everything, you know, from a young man's perspective, I had to get it on my own, you know, and I didn't have any guidance, you know, whatsoever, how I felt, you know, of trying to get to school. So I believe what you're doing, man, is definitely going to bless a lot of people's lives. I didn't even know there was Christian schools until I went JUCO, until I went, you know, to Johnson University. And I'm like, wow, I'm playing at a Division II school. We're traveling across the country. You know, we was in a Puerto Rico airport, never thought I'd be there, you know, and transitioned into the Virgin Islands, you know, on planes and stuff like that. So that experience was definitely a remarkable experience for me, man. And I'm happy that even on the signing day, you was a part of that, you know. So there's definitely,
I loved it.
It's
I loved
definitely,
it because I remember your face, man. You were so excited, and man, to me that just made my day. And I wanted to make, you know, you look back again at my time there. I wanted to make signing days very special, you know, for you, because you know, and for everybody that came into the school, because you know, I was there too as a parent, man. You know, you take that. Remember, I just wasn't coaching. I'm a parent as well that went through that process with my youngest daughter. And it was very special to me. So I'm like, man, I want this to be special for these kids. And listen, you're right. So I'm much older than you, right? So I go back to the 80s. You know, I graduated high school in 1989. And back then, I grew up in Florida. All you saw was University of Miami, Florida State. That's it. That's all you saw in the state of Florida and University of Florida. That's the only colleges you saw here. you never heard about University of Central Florida, University of North Florida, University of South Florida. You never heard of those types of schools. And still, remember, I just mentioned all D1 schools, right?
Mhm.
Now you go further. Do I think about, man, life happens. It's, it is what it is. But if maybe I was taught differently, especially our coaches, and saying, hey, it's just not about these 3 schools in the state of Florida. There's a bunch of little smaller schools that are in there that you might be able to go play football. It would have been my size, maybe. I couldn't have played Division One. Man, I was 5'8", 155 pounds. I'd have been killed. But, but there were smaller schools, and like you said, there's smaller Christian schools like North Greenville University up there, in South Carolina.
Mhm.
That's a Christian school that has football program. So maybe that could have been an opportunity for me, NAIA. I don't know, so that's how I'm saying is that it's that education piece that has to be addressed, and get that mentality that you don't have to be on television on ESPN in order to become successful in sports.
Mhm. And it's crazy because
Right?
even Johnson University, we were on ESPN, and we weren't
Yeah,
Division One.
that's when we played the Citadel, right?
Yeah, Citadel. We were on Citadel and also Jackson University.
That's right. And we were on ESPN. The smallest, if you were to rank them, I'm not a big fan about ranking because, like I said, there's JUCOs that can beat D1s, NAIAs that can beat D1s. But if you want to rank them, you look at NCAA Division One, Division Two, Division Three. Then the JUCOs are right in there. NAIA, the USCAA, which a lot of people don't know about, and then of course us in the NCCAA Division Two. So, man, that's down here compared to everybody up here, right? But now let me ask you, did we have players in the past that played at Johnson that could have been Division One players?
Definitely.
Absolutely. I can think of one example. This is, way before my time at Johnson, when he used to be called Florida Christian College. There was a young man there that played there that his name was Kevin Wills.
Mm.
I went to high school with Kevin Wills. He was a year older than me, and Kevin Wills was phenomenal. I mean, he was like his own highlight reel in high school.
Mm.
And Kevin Wills went to Clemson. Flunked out, didn't even play, started moving around, went to a JUCO in Florida, then went somewhere else. And luckily he was friends with, he was really good friends. They were best friends, Bob Mellenbacher. And Bob was going to Florida Christian College. And he was like, man, can I come play there?
Mm.
And Bob's like, man, I think you would. You know what? That first year, he destroyed people. And he got All-American and all that other stuff. Now, here you go. That's a Division I kid that would have, if he would have, didn't follow that other direction, would have just been a monster in Division I. And who knows where he could have ended up. I think he could have played professionally. I don't know, So to knock the NCCAA, to knock the USCAA, to knock JUCO, you're selling yourself short. And those are the kids, Ray, that when I'll give you an example. I had 2 kids from Brazil, right, ask me for help.
Mm-hmm.
Sent out their information. I had a coach and a USCAA school in North Carolina contact me about both players and offered them money, which was perfect for their budget. Offered them money. They had a little bit of budget that it would have been perfect for them. Plus, they knew each other and they could have played together, right? What's the first question you think they asked me? What division is it?
Yeah, what division?
It doesn't matter. Well, what division is it? That's in USCA. Oh, I'm not interested. Guess what? Those 2 are going to be sitting in Brazil wondering what just happened because they received no other offers.
Hmm.
That's the wrong mentality that you need to have, especially if you're an international student, because it's so difficult to get here. Get here. Who cares what division you're playing in? Get here. You're going to have your visa. Get here. Play. Show what you got. And then it's going to be a lot easier for another college coach to see you here in the United States than it is to go to Brazil and see you down there. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's the education piece that I want to be able to start teaching kids, not only here in the United States, but from all over the world, that you got to be smart, You got to be financially stable in order to make sure that this is going to be the right thing for you.
Hmm. Yeah, man, I definitely believe in what you're doing. And I know that you're going to have a wonderful career, just blessing other people's careers as well, because when they have their stories, if you're kind of that guy that's going to bridge the gap, to making sure that these kids are successful, man. And when they have their stories and their testimonies, man, like, you're going to be a huge, huge part of that in the mix as well, man, because that's just providing opportunities for people that probably wouldn't have opportunities, or can't afford the opportunities, or don't understand the politics behind college and in those realms. So, man, I definitely appreciate all the things that you're doing, man. And hey, I would love to be a part of it any way, shape or form, anywhere, that I could help or give you some advice, or, even have conversations like this, man. I'm always open.
I'm open as well. We're in our beginning stages, really. Yeah, we already have a team and all that stuff, but as far as an organization, we're very young. And I'm starting to put the right people in the right places that are going to help us succeed. But our success is going to be the success of the people that play for us, right? That's what I want. I want these kids to be able to, again, not only college, but semi-pro or professional, if that opportunity presents itself, think about what we have in Orlando that a lot of places don't have. We've got those semi-pro leagues. We've got a professional men's basketball team there. We've got a national champion women's professional basketball team there. There's so many opportunities in Orlando. Plus, the weather's not too bad in Orlando. I would say, so what, that we can play sports year round. And
Mhm.
indoor, outdoor, it doesn't really matter. So that's where, the mix is going to come in, and we're going to be making some things happen. I'm really excited about it. And Ray, I'd love for you, in some way, shape, or form, in some sort of capacity, to add you to our family, because, to have your background and your experience, and I know you're a young man and you're learning as you're growing too, but you've already had some experiences in your life. Okay.
Mhm.
And some things that you can bring up that a lot of, to a lot of young men out there, that either dad wasn't there or dad passed away or something like that. They need guys like you to say, look, I had that happen to me as well, but I made it.
Mhm.
You're about to graduate college. That's amazing, man. You're building your own business. That is amazing. And that's what other kids need to see. They need to see young men like you. It was something you posted on Instagram the other day, right? There was something that you posted the other day on Instagram that I loved it. And you said something about, what, I don't know word for word, so forgive me, but it was something to the effect of, you guys are doing this while I'm making these business moves, right? You guys are, worried about drama and this and all this stuff. I'm focused. I'm trying to make my business happen. And that's the mentality that you got to have. Forget about all the other noise. That's just noise, man. That's just to keep you from doing what you want to do. Forget it. And that's what you're doing. You're about to, again, graduate college, which is an amazing feat in itself. For anyone, listen, I didn't go to college. I wasn't a college kid. I knew it. I hated school. It just wasn't for me. So I went to the school of hard knocks. Would I do it differently? Probably, but it is what it is. But, I push my kids to that direction. It's like, hey, you're going to, my daughter, is about to, again, finish at UCF, and it's been hard. She's the studying and everything that she has to do is very difficult. But at the end of the day, when she graduates in December of 2020 and she gets that piece of paper, her opportunities are open, for business, and will be one of the first in our families to graduate college.
Wow,
You know,
congratulations, man.
yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm very excited for her and for our family and everything. It's just going to open up a lot of doors for everybody. But like, going back to the mix, I'd love to have you in, Ray, maybe, we talk offline at some point and see what can we do to get Ray McLeod to be a part of our family there. You're already part of the family. It's just, we got to figure out where we're going to put you, because listen, I love you guys, that. And, I've always felt all the kids that I was very close to at Johnson, will always be a part of my family. And you're one of those kids.
I definitely appreciate that, man. And I know we'll
I
be
know,
in,
I know I keep calling you kid, but
hey, man, it's fine. I appreciate the love, man. And any ideas or anything that you have for me, we could definitely, talk offline and just trying to figure out exactly where that is, as well as with COVID, in this situation as well. But I definitely appreciate you, man, and the things that you're doing for the community in the globe, man. Like that's internationally. That's not just no local. No, you're doing this on a worldwide,
yeah,
perspective. So I definitely appreciate that. And there's so many others that's going to appreciate that as well. So yeah, man, I appreciate you.
absolutely. I appreciate you as well. Keep doing what you're doing, man. I love seeing the content that you're putting out there. And again, don't stay focused. Get that degree and continue building this dream of yours and for your family. And you're gonna have much success, man. I already see it in you. You've got this crazy drive, and I love it, man. That's exactly what we need. I bet you're one of those guys that probably doesn't sleep, at night because you're sitting there just, the wheels are turning, wheels are turning. All right, what can I do differently? How can I do this? How can I do that? That's the mind of an entrepreneur, and that's you. And Ray, that's my listen. I will give this example to anybody. Don't go work for somebody else. It sucks. Point blank, it sucks. I've done it. I'm about to turn 50 years old in January of 2021. And I've worked for other people almost my entire time of working. From I started working when I was 13 years old. My first job, I was a dishwasher at Sonny's Real Pit Barbecue. And I've been working ever since, right? In all these different jobs, but none of those were mine, right? My most recent was at the university, right? Where I'm trying to make a difference, trying to make a change. But you know what? I can only do so much. Why? It's not mine, right? You got to go by the policies of somebody else. And I hated that. So that's why I'm done with that. It's time to be an entrepreneur. You have that opportunity now where you're such a young man that, man, think about, 50 years of age seems like a world away for you. But I remember being your age like it was yesterday.
Wow.
See what I mean? It happens like that. Ask anybody my age, and they'll tell you the same exact thing, right? So take it from somebody like me, guys. If you're watching this video, don't go, it may be at the beginning, learn so that way you can learn the processes and things like that and learn what not to do, right? Because, man, that's the way that I see things now. It's like, man, I remember I used to work at this place, and I used to hate when they did this stuff. That's what I'm not doing, right? So you learn from that. Yes, go work for somebody else. So that way you can learn the same things. And you can say, I'm never going to do this. I'm never going to do this to my employees. I'm going to make my employees first. I'm never going to do this as an organization. I'm going to make my organization first. Forget about this out here, man. Forget about it. Focus, vision, and you're going to see tremendous success in your area, man. I'm excited for you.
I'm excited for you too, man, and I definitely appreciate those words of wisdom. It was an honor to have you on. I know you probably have other things to do as well today, and it was just a great listen and great energy, great conversation, man. We'll definitely have to do this again sometime.
Anytime.
And yeah, man, I definitely appreciate you. I do have your email address and stuff, so any other information, I'll send directly to you via email. But yeah, man, appreciate speaking with you today, and we'll definitely keep in touch.
Absolutely, Ray. Listen, man, I wish you nothing but success. I can't wait to see the things that you're going to be doing soon. And man, when you're ready to join us, and again, we're going to talk offline on some things. Let's make something happen, and get you being a part of the Mixed family as well.
All right. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and stop screen recording or whatever. And to all the people out there listening, man, we just want to say thank you, for this wonderful experience. My man, Coach Andy, it's been an honor.
Thank you for having me. I'm great. I'm honored to be here.
And also tell them your social media as well. So if anyone personally wants to connect with you, your social media.
Absolutely. So my Instagram is at Coach A Recruits. And then also for the Mix Sports Club is at Mix Sports Club. I'm also on Twitter at Coach A Recruits as well. So it's the same way all the way around, at Coach A Recruits.
Okay. All right. One love.